Hello, I'm Stevesekai, and today I'm here to correct a travesty. You see, last season, a show hit the airways before being put on hold due to the pandemic that I believe deserves far more attention and praise than I've seen it get. That's right, I'm talking about... No, that's the wrong one. What I'm actually talking about is... You see, the travesty is thus. Now, I know I shouldn't be trusting sites like Mal to measure good taste, but I couldn't sit idly by as this show sat with a score lower than other titles that have most certainly removed years off of my life. Gal and Dino, aka Gyaru to Kyoryu, is a comedy anime and show, we'll get there, based on a manga of the same name. Now, typically, I'm not of the belief that you should ever really turn your brain off while watching something. I have a whole series dedicated to overthinking the shows that use this mentality the most. Though that doesn't mean I think that every show needs to be some genius piece that pushes the medium forward or is even just smart. Sometimes it's okay to just have fun with something and not think too hard. And you know what? This show is dumb, and that's okay. Gal and Dino is about Kaede, a gal, and her new friend/pet/roommate, Dino. That's it. They live their lives together and everyone just kind of accepts that there's a dinosaur around after a simple, that's weird. We see Kaede go to work, Dino go to her work, meet her friend, her ex-boyfriend, and more. It's like a slice of life, but there's a dinosaur. And well, look at this dumb mother. How can you not love his stupid face? The number of times I've laughed just from looking at him alone is too many to count. The concept is ridiculous, and once you accept it, just as the characters accept a dinosaur being around, then you'll start having a great time with the stupid reality that the show takes place in. If you ever try to ask yourself why while viewing this show, the answer it gives back in pretty much every scenario is, I don't know, it's funny, and then it continues on its way without giving much of a care. Breaking down the show, we've got two halves that we can split in two quarters. The animated half can be seen as the main show and Kyoryu channel, then the live action half holds the actual plot as well as short skits. The content can range from wholesome friendship to elaborate shitposts that baffle the mind as to who could think up this kind of lunacy. Each and every one of these segments carries a different heart to it that proves the team behind this show were having genuine fun, and that fun is poured into every frame. Once you lose yourself in the bubbly joy of the aesthetic and humor, then every second will be a blast of happiness. The main titled episodes are the actual manga adaptations in each episode. This is where we get to meet our characters and you get the carefree comedy that made the series popular. Kyoryu Channel is a series of 3D animated goofs that are occasionally related to the episode, and other times... this. They're often silent, since Dino never speaks anyways, and always cute. The live-action segments typically start with a sort of remake of one of the adapted episodes before curving off on its own takes and eventually derailing entirely. Sometimes you watch the first episode, but with an old man, and sometimes you watch three famous comedians doing their stand-up acts for an injured Kaede. Then the skits are just skits. You get fun little shorts, animation experiments, and something from the depths of old YouTube. Now, I love my smart comedies, and they're some of my favorite shows of all time, but oftentimes they'll only really warrant a chuckle and a nod at the clever quips. But sometimes you just want to watch a big blue dino enjoy some ramen, or wander into the 18+ section of a video store. Is it high comedy? No, but it doesn't have to be. As long as it makes you feel good and puts a smile on your face, then it's doing its job. Look at Monty Python. The show and movies are a famous mix of some of the most highbrow humor you'd expect from a group of professors and historians, and some of the most absolutely inane bits to ever grace comedy. And Monty Python is one of the most well-respected and praised comedy groups of all time. And that's not to mention that the live action segments are littered with popular Japanese comedians and actors, or the absolute overuse of lightsaber sounds and rap air horns that are used just enough to circle back from being annoying into funny again. And even if it's just Dino doing his thing, it's still great. Look at this dummy with his stubby hands, he can't fold the paper. And if all of that hasn't sold you yet, well, everything should make complete sense when you find out it's the same people who made Pop Team Epic. The mixed mediums and various goofs, along with that Pop Team Epic love, makes the show feel like a slightly less chaotic sequel/midstep between the two seasons of Pop. Not to mention, it may be part of a Pop Team Epic cinematic universe? Or would it be the Space Cat cinematic universe? Regardless, remember that idol who showed up at the end of Pop Team Epic, Aoi Shota? And how he had weird time powers? Well, he's back in Gal and Dino sporting the same outfit and time powers, but is now at odds with Yoko Takahashi, playing the landlady and murderer of the actor Miyaharu. As of now, we don't know where this plot is going to go, if it bothers to go anywhere at all. And that's fine, because the show and manga both make it clear for you all to know the gal isn't bothered, the Dino isn't bothered, and you shouldn't be either.